Well, we finally got our boat back from South Bay. It was down there for about 2 weeks, and unfortunately it took them a little longer to fabricate the panels, so I've missed it. I've missed having it here so we can get the project wrapped up. Sanded the whole bottom, fixed all the imperfections that we could without compromising the outer shell, and have painted it yellow. The same yellow is also on the trailer. I went to Eagle Trailers and verified that just 2 days ago, and you know, the yellows look good, and the upholstery looks good from Viata, and South Bay did a great job on the rails. And once we're able to get everything painted and then re-sheeted with plywood supplied by South Bay, I mean, they just went the extra mile doing everything they could to make sure our job was easier. They supplied us with a wiring harness for the boat, everything, as well as a helm station, which we're going to be rigging today. The most important thing I should state is that BRP has donated a new E-Tech 115 engine to the project, so I did backflips when I heard that. That way we had a new product on the boat, and our lady captain can have no worries about starting troubles, flashes underneath the helm station. You know, we'll be good to go. The bottom has been sanded and primed and painted yellow. We're going to paint the sides white and then add some graphics after that. And you can see the variation in the color, from color to primer, raw aluminum down to the old paint and the old primer. That's what we try and do, is prep it down to every single nook and cranny. That way the primer adheres, the paint adheres correctly, and there's no problems. We got Phil over here sanding on the starboard side, just getting ready to paint the white, and as you can see, he gets down to every little nook and cranny around each and every rivet on this project. Any area that's not sanded will be prone to chipping and peeling and flaking, and it just has to be done right. Here's an area here where there was a simple scratch in the side of the boat. That as well needs to be sanded, filled, primed, sanded again, and then finally sprayed. There's so many processes to get the job right that every little hole on the transom has been filled, welded and filled. Then we'll prime and paint everything. Again, the yellow is for the bottom, and all of the interior of the transom will be white. The transom and sides will be white. Dave's just now removing all of the through-hull fittings and the inspection plates so that we can chisel all of this caulk out of here and replace it. All of that stuff has to go, otherwise it's just going to be a repetitive problem. Say they dub out. What's up? The outer perimeter is the dotted line.
Okay, so I'm going to cut this out.
The holes there. So I would say cut the whole pattern out with scissors. That way we can place it perfectly on there and then cut the hole. From the factory, there's holes pre-cut, but they made this one special for us because they didn't know what we would be putting in there. Again, all of the sponsors that have gone the extra mile to make sure we have what we need. And the delays of the product that we do need kind of equals this out, because there's so much work that has to be done to something that's a factory part and we are altering it. They have templates for everything. They can cut these holes in 5 minutes, compared to where we need to take each and every piece of hardware, cut the hole, fit it, make sure it's right, and there's no room for error. We would need to repair this unit if we made one mistake. So that's why we use templates for everything, lay everything out before we cut any holes. With our next stage of the build, we'll be painting the sides, sheeting the top with all new wood, rewiring with all the harnesses that were donated by everyone. All the wiring has to be done right before we can complete the flooring, the carpeting, or put any of the side rails on. That's the next step. Get it in paint, get all the wiring done, carpet, panels, nuts and bolts, and hopefully a week from today we're going to be installing a brand new 115 E-Tech from BRP, and that's when they'll come in and educate us on how to hook it up, all the inner workings of the new iCommand gauges that they came out with.
What makes Evinrude E-Tech the world's most durable, reliable outboard? The way it's built. A 4-stroke outboard has camshafts, timing belts, exhaust valves, and dozens of other parts that need servicing and can break down. Evinrude E-Techs, by contrast, are radically simple, and the few parts they have are made from the world's most durable materials. These are the best built outboard engines ever made.
I would never recommend anything but an E-Tech engine.
Day in and day out, they're the most reliable engine I've ever seen.
The best in the industry.
Call or go online now and get an extended factory-backed limited warranty, plus 6.99% financing on engines or new boat packages, and for a limited time, up to $500 in gas. Call and get the most talked about DVD in the boating world and see why Evinrude E-Techs outperform the competition in power, performance, reliability, cost of ownership, and more. Evinrude E-Tech. Spend more time on the water.
Yes, it is, because you feed the battery in first and then have the oil tank underneath that hatch. He can fill his oil. He's not going to be removing his battery all the time. To get the battery out, he disconnect his oil tank, move it over.
Just so we have enough room to be able to disconnect.
I'd say once you're
And
confident the wire's underneath, let's set that back on. That way you have a visual of where you need to place all that.
Do just fine.
well, if we're not going to use a,
Just route it and then I'll read.
they're not going to use like a rigging tube or anything like that?
I have flexible black rigging tube that's coming after the fact. That's all in the way from any
You have that sheathing or
The flexible
corrugated.
The corrugated stuff.
Okay, all right.
So are they going to, now, do you want to run oil and fuel through all that, or do you want to run, you know, oil and fuel?
Fuel originally came through here.
Right.
I know that for a fact. On the Sea Star or one of the brochures we have, some type of paperwork says to feed electric from one side and oil and hydraulics from the other.
Yeah, I mean, that's no, yeah, but that's,
But
I don't care. It's up to you. That's up to you. I don't, you know.
make your
I mean, I normally run one tube into the motor with fuel, oil, everything going in with that black corrugated hard stuff, and then it seals everything through the transom.
Yep.
Then you can put your primer bulbs and everything under a hatch, and away you go. Now I know other people might, you know, I know some people will run and put a primer bulb here in the splash well or something like that.
I
And
think we should have the primer bulb for fuel up here.
yeah, I
Should be
don't.
in the splash.
He's
This
used to
engine,
that.
you want to use the rigging tube because you have no way of stopping the water from getting in the engine otherwise.
You want to use the corrugated?
have to.
You have to use the corrugated. There you go.
That's why I ordered it.
Okay. So.
This is the world's most advanced outboard, with more torque and more horsepower than the competition, plus better fuel economy. Evinrude E-Tech.
When I put the E-Tech on, I doubled my gas mileage.
Fuel economy of the E-Techs and the price of fuel just make them very economical.
E-Tech's fuel economy is bar none the best.
The E-Tech today is the best outboard out there.
Evinrude E-Techs, the most durable, reliable outboards ever made. Call or go online now and get an extended factory-backed limited warranty, plus 6.99% financing on engines or new boat packages, and for a limited time, up to $500 in gas. Call and get the most talked about DVD in the boating world and see why Evinrude E-Techs outperform the competition in power, performance, reliability, cost of ownership, and more. Evinrude E-Tech. spend more time on the water.
They weld everything in the jig up. Okay, what I'm doing now is installing all of the Eddy Marine custom hardware. They provide any color that you could possibly imagine for custom and billet hardware. I chose them because their product has been installable for me for 10 years, probably 12 years. The fiberglass console was supplied by South Bay Pontoons, and we utilized their gauge assembly, and the best thing that I could do was just throw some custom hardware at it. The Jensen power head provided by ASA is MP3, runs off an iPod, Sirius satellite, as well as CD, so they can enjoy any media they could possibly download to their iPod or on a CD from their computer. The gauges are from BRP. They're the iCommand gauges. All of these gauges can be programmed to any specific gauge you would like. This can be the tach or the speedo or the voltmeter, as well as this one. You can program any of them any way you want. You can split this in half, or you can quarter it to have actually make 4, 8, 12 gauges out of 4. So you get 12 readings out of 4 gauges.